Thank you, sir.
My name is Nelson Makanda. I am the chair of this selection panel, and we want to thank you for showing interest in the position we advertised for member, but also want to congratulate you for being shortlisted, and that's why you are here this morning.
Thank you very much.
I'll invite my colleagues to introduce themselves to you. Having done that, then we will come to you. Linda.
Thank you, Chairman. Good morning, Mr. Ngeno.
Good morning to you.
My name is Linda Kiome, and I want to welcome you for your interview session. Karibu sana.
Thank you, madam.
Bwana Ngeno, good morning.
Yes. Good morning, sir.
Chair, I was a college mate to Mr. Ngeno, so he's known to me. Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Ngeno.
Good morning, madam.
Caroline Kituku, karibu.
Thank you.
Good morning, Stephen.
Good morning, Professor.
My name is Adam Solo. I'm a member of this selection panel.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
My name is Nicodemus Bore, and karibu sana.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Ngeno.
Good morning, madam.
My name is Fatuma Ali Saman, a member of the panel, and I would wish to welcome you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Ngeno.
Good morning, madam.
Karibu sana. My name is Koki Muli Grino, and I'm a member of the panel.
Thank you.
Good morning, Ngeno.
Good morning, sir.
My name is Evans Misati. I'm a member of this selection panel, and we welcome you.
Thank you.
Now we come to you, Ngeno, and ask that you kindly introduce yourself to us, highlight your profile, and let us know how your experience dovetails with the expectations of our IEBC commissioner. Let us know if you're a member of any professional society and if you belong to any group that is professional, and if you have received any award. Please proceed.
Thank you very much, Chairman and honorable members. My name is Stephen Ngeno. I come from Bomet County. I am a PCOM graduate from the University of Nairobi with MBA from the same university in strategic management. And before that, maybe I can say about my high school and primary school. I started in a school called Kipsinge Primary in Sotik constituency. Then later on joined Kabianga High School, where I finished Form 4 before joining University of Nairobi, Faculty of Commerce. I'm a PCOMA, Management Science option. Management Science is currently equivalent to PPIT, that is Bachelor of Business in Information Technology. That's why after graduation, I was able to move to ICT comfortably. After finishing college, I joined Telcom Kenya. At that time, it was Kenya Post and Telecommunication Corporation, ICT department, as a system analyst trainee, where I rose through the ranks up to the level of an assistant manager billing process. And my job was to do the billing of the telephone lines at that time. And I learned a lot from that experience, and I was privileged to be among the first employees to be attached to the new system when the split came and there was Safaricom and other entities. So I was billing the interconnect. Interconnect is the revenue between the telecommunication firms, and at that time I was oriented, or I was privileged to join senior management meetings at a very young stage in Garia, because I was in the team that was negotiating for the interconnect rates. So at times we could be having meetings even with the first CEO of Safaricom and Kensel at that time. After and before I left telecom, I left ICT department and joined the compliance, because the compliance was starting up an information system audit unit, and I was the only one in the ICT department that had studied information system audit and passed the exams. So I joined there in the setup of the information, to help in the setup of the information system audit. And I familiarized myself with the various audit principles. After telecom, I joined the IEBC, Interim Independent Electoral Commission, as a manager, business support and training. Business support in this case was supporting the main business of the Interim Independent Electoral Commission, which was actually election being the core business in the ICT department. And this was a reform commission. After what happened in 2007, there was a serious presidential election dispute, which led to the disbandment of the ECK, the Electoral Commission then. And there was a commission which was headed by Krikla, which was formed to see the conduct of elections during 2007 election. And one of the recommendations was the formation of a reform commission with efficient and effective secretariat. And it happened that I was one of those recruited to be the efficient and effective secretariat. And another thing was was that the register was invalidated by Parliament. So we had to come and build another register for the referendum. So I was in charge of the database of IEBC, the register, together with the other team. And we were able to build that register from photo number one to what it is right now, in preparation for the referendum. I learned a lot during that time of reform, because I was part of the reform team. I saw a lot. We worked closely with the commissioners at that time, because we were a very lean secretariat, and we had very active commissioners. And one of the commissioners was an ICT expert. And one of the recommendations of the Krikla Commission was that the new electoral body was supposed to build an electronic or a digital system for the management of election. So from there we started, or we began the journey of elections by piloting during the referendum. We selected, the commission selected 18 constituencies countrywide. And I was privileged to have been in the team which was doing the selection of the piloted constituencies for technology. And in preparation, we were involved in the preparation from the beginning, because that's where the commission was going. And we were coming up with the electronic voter register. So we started by building even the specification from the scratch, and for the acquisition of the equipment. And then later on, we were able to register voters, but we did a number of tests during that time. Like
you want to move to something else that you have done, IEC. You have mentioned that.
Okay, IEC.
You build the database from the scratch. I'll continue to announce something else that you have done.
Now, when we transited to IEBC,
okay. Now you moved to IEBC as what?
It was on the same level.
Okay.
Yeah. So all the election technologies. I actively participated, and any other reform in the elections at that time. Then later on, I moved to the office of the Deputy President, Advisory Unit, as the Deputy Director, ICT and Infrastructure, where I worked for some time. Then currently, I'm working with Kenya Industrial Property Institute, KIPI, as the Deputy Managing Director, Technical Services. And technical services involve registration and protection of industrial properties, namely trademarks and patents. So I'm overseeing that department currently. And I can really relate it to the other areas that I've worked in, because it is all about innovation. It is all about dealing with stakeholders in the area of development of new information systems.
Thank you very much. I want to ask Linda to ask you some questions, please. Linda.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Ngeno, which skills or professional experiences have best prepared you for this kind of job that is high stakes, and it requires a multi-skilled person who can be able also to handle the pressure that comes along with the job? So which skills and experiences do you have that you think will help you in the execution of your mandate?
One, I am an expert in ICT as a system analyst by training and by practice, and I have worked my way in ICT and implemented several systems that supports businesses. And I am also, I have a great strength in coordination, and you find that elections has got very complex logistical issues that needs coordination, and I have done this before when even I was a regional coordinator for IEBC in South Rift. I was managing 17 constituencies with over 40 staff. So I have that kind of, I can work under pressure because I have done this before. I've worked in the project management when we were in IBC during the time of elections. We could collapse every other thing in terms of positions and ranks and work as a team like a project, and with strict timelines and responsibilities to meet. So I can meet strict timelines, and also IBC is a very legal area with everything in election is almost illegal, to the extent that I comply to the legal terms.
Okay, thank you so much, and I wish you the very best. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Madam.
Thank you. I want to ask Caroline to ask you some questions. Carol, please.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Ngeno.
Yes, Madam.
In 2022, the Supreme Court, in the presidential petition, identified certain weaknesses in the resort transmission system. Given now your background and understanding of IT, what are those challenges that the court identified, and should you become successful, how would you steer the commission in navigating those challenges?
The 2022 election challenges, it was majorly about transparency, to the extent that there was a division between commissioners, because there's a group that felt that...
No.
Sorry.
Let's focus on the resort transmission system.
Yes.
Not the governance issues.
Okay.
The resort transmission system, I mean, like, IBC uses technology.
Yes.
For voter identification, biometric voter identification, and the result transmission. But the Supreme Court identified certain issues or certain weaknesses in the manner in which IBC deployed technology. What were those weaknesses and how would you navigate them?
In results transmission, there were challenges in terms of connectivity, as in there are some areas which the results were not able to come to the server or to the central Starlink system. The other thing was like the way it was being handled. Some results could come with because the officials were taking a picture or an image of the results form. So the way they do it, sometimes they come halfway, which you would not be verified how the results, the completeness of that results. And when you look at it, generally, it was like, to me, as an ICT expert and someone who has worked in election before, it was more of administrative issues than the functionality of the system, because the system worked very well in certain areas. Also, you notice that the election IEBC officials which are engaged on temporary basis and may not have had good training on how to transmit the results. I have also looked at what was highlighted by the KBMG in the audit, and they were talking of weak passwords. That's an area that needs a great discussion, because the problem that we had in 2023, in 2013, in results transmission, was because of strong passwords that we had enforced at that time, and many people were not able to log in and send the results. Now, when the passwords are changed to be a bit easier and flexible for the IEBC officials, it also becomes a vulnerability. So what can be done is to strike a balance between a strong password and a weak password to see how we can safeguard the integrity of the system, at the same time make it possible for everyone who is using the system to be able to access it. Then the other one is fine-tuning the system to the extent that when an official is trying to send the results and they are taking an image, the system should be fine-tuned to the extent that it should not be able to send half the results or the form. It should only accept to send the results when it has captured the whole form. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I wish you well. Over to you, Chair.
Thank you. I want to invite Koki to ask some questions.
Thank you very much, Chair. Mr. Ngeno.
Yes, Madam Koki.
Should IEBC regulate and oversight political spending?
Yes, IEBC should regulate and control political spending.
So how would you strengthen IEBC's oversight of political spending?
It is actually supposed to, it's an ideal situation. IEBC should regulate and control. But it is a very challenging situation, given that the money that is spent in elections by political people or politicians, majority of it is not even about the posters, things that can be put in the budget. It is all about handouts that they give it to the voters, which is illegal. So that one, it is hard to account for it. And also, there is another thing that it's really impacting in the democracy in this country. The level of honesty in terms of dealings is very low. I had a privilege when I was in IEBC to go to Brazil to do the observation of presidential election. And some of the things that we were looking was the campaign. The campaign there is managed well in a systematic manner, to the extent that there is a level playground for politicians, because it is actually the Electoral Commission there that manages the funds for the candidates. So
you said that IEBC should oversight and regulate
yes.
campaign spending, and I asked you how. So please give us some steps on how you would.
One is to work together with political parties. Secondly, is to have a very strict code of conduct in terms of the campaign, and declaration of the budget by the candidates on how much they can, and maybe for IEBC to form a special unit that enforces that code of conduct for management of campaign funds outside the normal, because the current IEBC as it is, the officers in the field, their hands are full. They may not be able to follow the politicians to every campaign or call them. But if IEBC could form a separate unit that deals with campaign financing, they'll be able to manage to certain level.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ngeno, and I wish you all the best. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. I want to ask FCPA to ask you some questions. FCPA, please.
Thank you, Chair. Bwana Ngeno, you know, all along I thought you were still at IEBC. When did you leave IEBC? And
I left IEBC in 2017.
Any reason? And you had prospects?
Yes, I had prospects. I loved it, but I aspired to be a candidate, which did not work.
Which candidate?
I had aspired to be an MP.
Member of Parliament?
Yes.
For which constituency?
Sotik.
Oh, Sotik.
Yes.
So you fell at what point? Nomination?
Nomination. I didn't go beyond nomination.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why would you want to leave Kipi, and you are Deputy Managing Director now?
Because one, I have seen and I know and I understand the kind of commissioner that IEBC requires, and I am one. I know what it takes to be a commissioner in IEBC. I joined IEBC during the time of reform, and it was not a good reform. It was a very serious reform after the post-elections. So I joined IEBC, and I was oriented in a way that I should take seriously every election activity, because it means a lot to this country. So IEBC needs that kind of, any commissioner need that kind of orientation, whereby it's like, it's like you are driving in a road and you are driving carelessly, then you find a very bad accident. You'll start slowing down and following the rules, the traffic rules for some time before you go back to your behavior. That is how I was oriented. I was made to understand that elections are serious issues in this country that needs to be handled with due care, because it can break the country. So I have that passion to do it, and I have the necessary experience. And one of the areas that I think has been troubling IEBC is ICT and the server. And there is a need, and a serious need for that matter, to have an ICT experience person as a commissioner in IEBC. And this is evident from where we started. The technology was moving very well during the IEBC because we had a commissioner who was an expert in ICT. Then there was a slowdown in IEBC towards 2013, even from the procurement, because ICT issues were not being articulated in the plenary to the extent that it was not receiving the necessary attention, and some of them delayed in procurement and implementation. And